I want to compare explanations of inflation to an aggregation model. I want you to first go find an explanation of how inflation works though. I promise it'll make this video make a lot more sense. Occam's razor suggests that the simplest yet sufficient explanation is likely the best explanation. I like the aggregation model because it explains what is happening simply and without convolution. Aggregation of wealth generally describes when wealth is transferred up the ladder of personal wealth. This is an economic phenomenon that is as old as written history, and it still exists today. What is attempted to be explained by inflation is easily explained in an aggregation model. Recently, the flow of derivatives explains variations in the costs of living more simply and sufficiently than anything else. The buying power of the population is important to the businesses that compose the markets. As long as the population has sufficient funds to keep the businesses in business with their purchases, the system should be resilient when life happens. This includes the businesses that sell more general products and services, and the businesses in the derivatives market that focus more on financial services. They too buy products and services and employ from the population. The population has almost all of their financial services at their disposal. The most common influence in higher prices is financing. This is because buying power is generally insufficient for big-ticket items. The cost difference can be substantial when buying a house, for instance. The house can cost twice as much or more because it's a lengthy payoff that accrues a lot of interest. Of course, the interest is the fee for the financial service that funds the business and pays the employees. Savings decreases prices for an account holder because of the interest that's paid into it. This affects their spending power in a positive way. If an account holder were to save up for a car, for instance, some of the purchase would be covered by the interest accrued while saving. Having funds available for transfer puts the account holder in a position to haggle. They can usually make the purchase significantly below the sticker price as well. Savings can be paired with financing toward a large down payment that decreases the cost of financing as well. The general population can also invest in the economy. People can buy stocks and bonds that the derivatives market buys from businesses that pays them a dividend if their value increases. This can have a large effect on the buying power of the average person. The general population cannot, however, invest in an IPO, which is the initial round of investment in stocks where the bulk of the money is made. That requires being wealthy and licensed. One thing that is immediately observable when the observations move up the ladder of personal wealth is more interaction with the derivatives market. The more that a person thoughtfully uses the financial services available to them, especially savings, the more their cost of living is positively affected. The flow of derivatives is the most influential factor in personal buying power by a wide margin, and it's the case under common conditions. I would be willing to bet that this aggregation model was much easier on the brain than the explanation of inflation that you found. Thank you very much for your time. I hope it was interesting.